Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped, back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, it is that time of the month again, and it's a very special edition of the monthly tier list for the 11th anniversary of One Piece Treasure Cruise. So moving into June, we're looking at the characters that came out through May, putting them on a tier list, an updated tier list for my best legends in the game. And hopefully this video will help out not only new players, but mid-level players and endgame players alike, with what characters you want to look at prioritizing with leveling up, whether you can use them in the game, and what characters are just going to help you on your OPTC journey the most. So, for myself, I like to prioritize stuff like speed, power, usability when it comes to ranking characters. When it comes to this particular tier list, we do like to take everything into consideration, the monthly rotation that is Kazuna, Treasure Map, PKA. We also now have Rumble, which is a huge part of the game, but I do like to do my own separate Rumble tier list, team tier list as well. I do have a particular tier in this tier list for Rumble specific, so just be mindful of that. But look, some characters shine better in Treasure Map, some characters shine better in Kazuna. So we're looking at sort of ranking them across the board and how they work in majority of the game. That also includes stuff like extra island blitz battles, anything from the Coliseum, anything from the Recollective Archive, anything like that. But we do live in a boosted meta, so just be mindful of that. And most of the time, you'll be building teams out with boosted characters. But there are events like, again, PKA and Kazuna that don't use the boosted characters as well. So these tier lists should help you guys out in that regard. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know as well. I love chatting about this kind of stuff. And now that Super Boss Kazuna is over, I have a little bit more time to dive into stuff like Saturn and Bonnie and those types of units as well. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Remember, we still have a part 3 of the 11th anniversary coming as well. So this will not be the final 11th anniversary tier list, but the first of the 2 that probably get announced. Because I feel like the 11th anniversary will run through June, and it'll kind of end towards the start of July. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If this video helps you guys out at all, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do that. With all that said, let's dive in. Alright, so this one might be a bit of a longer video because obviously it is the 11th anniversary edition, but as you can see, this is the characters that we have from last month. Where basically we wrapped it off at the pre-11th anniversary, which was the Bartholomew Kuma as well as the Vegapunk. And honestly, these two characters weren't super exciting, but they did bring in character tags, which are exceptional additions to the game, and obviously opened the door to so much team building as well. So as you can see here, we have our top 10 as of last month. A lot of Gear 5s up in the top 10. Zoro Sanji still holding the reins as the best legend in the game. Ace coming in second. Yamato is still third. I'm actually going to do some changes here. I'm going to swap these two around. Versus Luffy, for me, has just been getting better and better and better. And obviously Freak Spirit, like, just, he shines. But in Luffy is definitely, like, your best powerhouse option when it comes to int-based teams. Nami, Karina, probably the best starting legend in the game. Like, these 3 characters, 1, 2, 3, are your best new player legends. And that's just how it is. I'm going to move Shanks up a little bit. Shanks and Super Boss obviously just reminded us how goddamn strong he is. He does have good utility and stuff as well, but he's just not as good as some of these other characters up the top here. Like, you could probably argue that he could probably fit here when you're talking Super Boss, but, like, if we're talking everywhere else, his barrier removal, his damage reduction is pretty much all he has else to help you out with. And when you stop color affinity, like, he does struggle too. Roger, probably the best anniversary exclusive. Gear 5, 6-star. Keep him in his 6-star. Do not 6+ him. I don't even know where I have the 6+, because obviously he's dropped off so much. And then this Gear 5 is actually really, really strong, who I managed to get to 150 recently, who's that's a lot of fun. As the God tier, these characters could make an argument to be up here in the top 10, but they do fall a little bit short for whatever reason. I'm not going to go through them all, because obviously there are a lot. Moving on to meta, like, these characters do see a lot of play, so, like, these are the characters you want to sort of level up. But we are going to make some changes here, too. I think Zoro's probably seen his time as an ST captain. I think Sanji can still make reigns, because he has the captain swap ability. The Yamato character, she definitely has fallen off a little bit as well. Momo's definitely holding some value there. I think the Kaido and King definitely can come down to ST Sailor. I think they just have too much to compete with when it comes to Verse Kaido up here. Verse Kaido's just like, he's just such a monster. The utility characters down the bottom here, great. Brook with his silence removal is fantastic. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I think, yeah, look, when you're talking damage, like, Shanks was still using the last Super Boss, so he was fantastic. Nami definitely could have got a run. I feel like she definitely has come down to ST Captain as well. Which is a bit of a shame, because, like, Nami's still so good, but at the same time, like, Nami's so old. Like, she came out, like, what, 2022 New Year's? Or 2021? I think it was 2022. Moving down to ST Captains now, like, these are some of the best captains in the game. If you are using them, stereotypically, you'll be running them as your leader for whatever reason. And they just do fantastic things as a leader character. I think probably bring Uta down to ST Sailor. Dante Leo definitely still hold there as a captain. The Newgate, yeah, they're so fun as a captain. I'll drop down Bonnie and Sabo. I just don't think Bonnie and Sabo are all that good. Carrot probably is more of an S tier sailor now. If we're talking treasure map, like she's definitely an S tier captain, but most of the time you're going to use her as a sailor if you're not worried about speed and all that kind of stuff. Bonnie still has great damage. Cat Viper's still a monster. Giants still hold their own. The Vega lads, I didn't pull the Vega lads, but I would have loved to have given them a test out. As for S tier sailors, all these characters are some of the best subs in the game. I do want to give a highlight to Usopp Lilith, one of the best PvP characters in the game as well. Everyone here seems pretty spot on. I don't really see anyone moving. Maybe you could make an argument for Kid Law if like you're looking at damage teams. Robin and Koala is definitely a very underrated character, and one that I would more likely move up into meta when barriers come back, but like haven't really seen too much play there. Everything else seems pretty fine there. S tier level limit break. If you guys are new, LLB means level limit break, which means you need 10 copies of the character to get their full abilities, their updated special, their updated captain ability, all that fun stuff. So these particular characters are one you want to look at investing in later down the line. But for right now, like if you don't have them maxed out or 6+ in that regard, like you aren't really going to get the maximum value out of them. And they all seem pretty fine. I don't really have any issues with any of the level limit break characters here. We have the PvP mainly, so mainly you'll see these guys pop up in PvP. This tier is pretty much for Rumble Legends, because Rumble Legends don't really have anything going for them besides PvP. Obviously, Kid got a pretty big buff with his level limit break. Pika, who's on the Assault Rumble banner, fantastic unit. Like, if you guys pull Pika, he'll open the door to so many very, very good teams, where you can just run strength fighters, and you just do, or strength fighter shooter, really, and you just do some disgusting things. Like, it's wild what you can do with strength fighter shooters. A tier captain, Doflamingo 6+, I'm actually going to bring up here into PvP mainly. I just don't really see any other use for the character. He did get released on a PvP banner, so it does make sense for him to sort of come up here. A tier captain, as you guys can see here, we go down A tier sailor and stuff like that. Like, we just sort of go down the ranks when it comes to the difference with A tier level limit break. The support tier, these characters you probably just want to max out their support, get them to level 5. You don't need to 6+ them or anything like that. And then a Grand Voyage must. Some other characters you want to bring for Grand Voyage, this Whitebeard and this Bardo, when you 6+ them, they are going to be must brings for Grand Voyage. Grand Voyage is very endgame content, so if you are a new player, like, don't stress if you can't beat level 5 and everything. Just keep chipping away at your account, and these particular characters you see here in the Grand Voyage must, these are characters you can start prioritizing in leveling up and super evolving and all that kind of stuff. If you are looking to start taking down some of the harder content in the game. It's kind of bullshit content, if I'm honest, but like it's still classified as the hardest content in the game. As for the bottom team, you got Bad for now. Like, these characters all, they just like, they need some love somehow. A lot of them have 6+. A lot of them have level limit break already, but like they're just not characters that you're going to see too much play. And then need love, like these characters just really need something, whether it's a 6+ level limit break, anything like that at all. These characters that haven't already seen, or you have. These are characters that haven't seen any buff, but definitely need it. Like I said, 6+ level limit break. Oh, Sugar's definitely should come up here too, because she's already got her buff. And that's pretty much it. I do want to bring Sengoku up to, look, it's hard with Sengoku, right? Because, like, you're only using him for treasure map. So I'm going to bring him up to AT Sailor, and I'm going to leave him at the back end, because, like, he's like a if you want to kind of thing. But for me, I use him every single treasure map, but that's just the way I play treasure map compared to some other people. Alright, moving on to the end of the Who's It and What's It. We got the, what's it called? We've got the new characters for the 11th anniversary. Now, we did get a lot of legends for the 11th anniversary, so, like I said, this one might be a bit of a bigger one when it comes to going through the character list, because we did get 2 6+ Zoros. Funny enough, we got 2 there. We got Super Sugos galore. We got 2 Super Sugos for the part 1. We got Saturn for part 2. And then we got a regular legend in Bonnie and an anniversary exclusive in Nami. So we're going to start it off right at the meat and potatoes with the Luffy and Zoro unit, who did come out as the part 1 celebration. The character is fantastic. Like, he is just, like, they are just such a demonic character. Like, I'm just going to come straight all the way up top here, because, like, we're not going to beat around the bush and not say this character is God tier or above. They are disgustingly strong, and they bring so much damage. As a captain, which you will basically always be using this guy as captain. Like, there's no reason to use this guy as a sub, unless you're sort of just using him as a point booster on some sort of team for whatever reason. As a captain, he gives 2 turns of Verse Charge, Switch Effect, and cooldown to the entire crew, and then he boosts the attack of Straw Hat Pirates, 4 Emperors, and Worst Generators by a further 1.1 times, on top of the 6 times he already gives to Psy, Free Spirit, and Slasher characters. He's a Psy, Free Spirit, Slasher, which is just so ridiculous. Like, a Luffy unit that is a Free Spirit Slasher is so fucking insane. Like, wild. The only downside to this character is that you have Luffy, Zoro, Sanji in the same name, which then stops you from using, say, this character, this character, this character, this character. That is the drawback to the unit. But like as a friend captain, which again I feel like you'll be using most of the time, just because of the drawbacks for the name, you can just do some fantastic things. But even still, in Super Boss, on our quick 2 Trillion team, I was actually using this guy as a sub, just for like a second turn burst. Again, he was a boosted character. I was running one as a friend captain already, so you can do some funky stuff with this guy as a sub. But at the same time, you're most likely going to use him as a captain. If you hit all excellence, you go up to like a 7.8 times captain for 4 Emperors, Straw Hat Pirates, and Worst Generation that are Psy, Free Spirit, or Slashes. Which is just absolutely disgusting. If you have 5 or more of those tags on the team, you buff attack and orb buffs by 0.25. And if you have 3 or more Straw Hat Crew Pirates on the team, whenever a Straw Hat Pirate uses an attack or orb boost, you can override your existing attack and orb boost by halving it. So if you already have a 3 times attack boost and a 3 times orb boost, and then, for example, you use this character's special because they are a Straw Hat character, you halve the 3 times attack and orb down to 1.5, and then give their crazy attack and orb boost, which is already so disgustingly strong. It goes up to something like a 4.5 times orb boost, as well as a 4 times attack boost, which is just wild. They remove 10 turns of paralysis and despair, and they give a territory for Psy. Like, for damage output, we saw the most disgusting numbers we've ever seen on the Int Super Boss. On the Int Super Boss, we were running Shanks as captain, this guy as a friend captain, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, versus Luffy, Yamato, like all these big hitters that you guys see at the top here. And then we also had, was that the team? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the new Nami, who we'll talk about as well. We had all those characters on the team, and at a 1.5 times multiplier, I was seeing 200 trillion. Like, 200 trillion with the final tap from versus Luffy, which is wild, like demonic, some might say. Like, those numbers just shouldn't be happening. And because of that, we were breaking the damage cap. I did put out a screenshot that I was doing 7.5 trillion damage if I got lucky with the recovery orb. So, like, the damage numbers you can see with this character are so disgustingly strong. Like I said, the main drawback to the character is the fact that they are Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. And for me, I think they are a top 10 character, but I don't really know exactly where I would put them in the top 10. Like I said, the drawback to having the 3 characters in the name does hinder them quite a lot. However, again, I don't want to let that stop us from looking at what the character does as a whole, because as a friend captain, you're still going to get so much value out of this unit with the utility, with the special damage. Like, you can just do so much goddamn stuff with him. The only drawback I find as a captain is you have no utility in the captain ability. But when you're bringing so much damage to the table, you just use the rest of the team to satisfy the utility. Plus, you're getting the 10 turns of paralysis and despair with the special. So I do think that this character is fantastically strong. If it was a standalone Luffy, I think I would have this character, like, up here somewhere. But because you do have the Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, I do want to sort of preface that is a bit of a problem when it comes to the character. On top of that, trying to find 5 Straw Hats on the team can be a little bit of a problem. You can throw in, like, Worst Generation and the Yonkos into the team too. So, like, Shanks was just, like, a fantastic character to throw in there. But this character is just, they're so good. Like, they are so ridiculously strong. And that sort of draws us into the next part, which is the Nami character that came alongside them as an anniversary exclusive. Nami, again, I'm not going to stop and sit here and say that this character is not a god tier character. She's also a slasher Psy character. She does have strike attack instead of having free spirit, which is kind of sucky. But as a captain, she gives 2 turns of cooldown, 4 times belly. If you have 4 more straw hats, she removes 3 turns of bind and despair. The captain ability is pretty good. Like, it's not a bad captain ability, but she's an anniversary exclusive. You're not running her as a captain, like, especially with this guy coming out. Like, you're just not. And as a sailor, she increases base attack by 300 if you tap with the Tandem One or Rainbow Orb. So, like, you want to run her as a sailor, especially underneath the new Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. So, another thing with Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, if you run 2 of them, you're not hurt, because you can run, like, double stack their attack and orb boost, which is just absolutely wild. It's just crazy. Like, if you're running 2 of them, for example, and you're getting the 4 times attack, 4.5 times orbs, and then you override that into a 2 times 2.25, and then you get the 4 times and 4.5 again. Like, the damage numbers you're going to see just with their 2 specials alone are just absolutely bonkers. On top of that, something else I forgot to mention, their EX gives you a full body Tandem Orbs and an overrideable color affinity boost, which it's just, again, more damage, like, more damage. And then the synergy you get with Shanks is fantastic, because you can get Chain Boundary, you get his color affinity, you increase the attack boost, you just do so damn much. But going back to Nami now. Nami, as a sailor, she has a 2-stage special. She goes down to 6 turns with Limit Break expansion, which is, like, wild, seeing as the fact that her Stage 1 special is probably arguably better than her Stage 2. She goes down to 15 turns on her Stage 2. She removes 7 turns of percent damage reduction and increased damage. At Stage 1, she removes 6 turns of these as well, so all up 13 turns if you get the pseudo double special. Rotates all orbs, including block, into tandem orbs, and increases the base attack of 1500 for 3 turns. At Stage 1, she also still does the block orb manipulation, but you just don't get the base attack boost. If 3 or more Straw Hat characters on the crew, she gets 2 turns of cooldown herself, and if your captain is Slasher or Striker, and your crew has 3 or more Straw Hats on the team, you then ignore debuff effectiveness and apply a weakening status of 1.58, as well as increasing the increased damage taken by, what was it, 1.87, oh, so all up it's 1.875 if your enemy has increased damage taken for 3 turns. And then her Stage 1 does the increased damage taken that bypasses full immunity as long as your captain is Slasher or Striker. So, kind of crazy in the sense that she can then apply increased damage taken, apply weaken, and with her EX, which can be used as a sub, she can give herself 2 turns of cooldown. So essentially, she just needs 2 more turns of cooldown to get that full effectiveness of the 6 turns that her Limit Break expansion has. All you need is 2 or more Slasher characters on the crew, and one of them must include a Zoro or a Brook character. So, bit of an odd one there. If you want to build for her, basically you need a Zoro or a Brook on the team if you want the EX. But again, having Luffy, Zoro, Sanji just makes it easy. Having Zoro and Sanji as the best character in the game also makes it very, very easy. She has resistance for Slashers and Strikers, and then she gives a final tap buff as well. She turns Slashers and Strikers into super type as well, so she's just a phenomenal unit. Something I haven't touched on as well with both these characters is PvP. Both of them are just revitalized the side team. They do, like, disgusting things. The Luffy, Zoro, Sanji also have the Super Tandem buff. So if you use a Super Tandem under them, which obviously Nami has, you can then get a massive buff to Strikers and Slashers as well as side characters. She has a 2.25 times attack boost with her Super Tandem, and then increases increased damage taken by 0.5 or effects by 0.5. So yeah, so she just basically gives her increased damage taken at 2.75, which is really nice. And again, if you tap with her with a tandem mob, she turns her base stats into 1800. The damage numbers you get with these 2 units is just phenomenal. You have so much utility across the board. Both of them have fantastic supports, and they are all just, like, so ridiculously strong. I think I'm going to keep Roger up here in the top 10. I think the Gear 5, I reckon I'm going to drop him into God tier, man. Like, I use him a lot in PKA, for example, and, like, co-op, but that's pretty much the only place I really use him. And to be honest, I don't even use him in co-op, so I'm going to drop him down into God tier. And a lot of people are going to go crazy at me for that. But this Nami, I think, is just wild. Like, absolutely wild. I think the 2 of them are pretty on par. I think Nami's more valuable to own. Definitely a more valuable unit to own. So I'm going to put her a little bit higher. But her as a sub, man, she gives you so much damage. Like, so much damage. It's ridiculous, actually, how much damage. The only problem I have with the character is her drawbacks, needing Straw Hats, needing the Zoro and the Brook, which, look, isn't hard to do, but it is still a drawback. And it's still something that can be a little bit challenging to get all of her effectiveness off. In PvP, the 2 of them, like I said, they are demonic on the side team. Nami is basically just another version of Nami Karina in the sense that she just gives rollbacks. She lowers attacks, she can do damage. The Luffy, Zoro, Sanji unit give cooldowns to Straw Hats. They just hit like trucks. You can do phenomenal things, especially with the new Robert and stuff like that. And stay tuned, because I will have some videos out for you guys with these particular characters. But for now, I do have them around the sort of top 5 area, but not so much in, like, the, oh my god, these characters are so much better than some of the characters we've seen before. Because I still think that these 3 characters, or 4 characters, I should say, in the Free Spirit tag are just, like, so ridiculously strong. And hell, if you wanted to make an argument to me, you go, like, I don't care if you take that friend captain argument stump and you put them up here. I can see it. I definitely can. But for myself, like I said, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji are a character that if you don't own them, I don't think you're going to be hurt that much. Like, honestly, for that reason, I kind of want to put them, like, back here. But at the same time, like, I don't want that to be a drawback to how powerful the character is, man. Like, if the character was just named Luffy, holy shit, we'd be talking, like, best character in the game. Which is, like, freaking wild. Next, we have Kizaru, who definitely shocked a lot of people. Kizaru is probably one of the most fun legends we've seen in a very, very long time. And sometimes in OPTC, man, like, we need a little bit of fun. Like, we need a little bit of fun in our lives. Because we're so serious all the time about building boosted teams and trying to do trillions of damage and, like maxing out PvP teams. You get a character like Kizaru, man. Kizaru is just fun. He's just refreshing. It's a very refreshing character. For that reason, I don't think he's a top 10 character, unfortunately. But in saying that, still, I still think he's very, very good. And I have a couple of issues with the unit, but overall, like I said, he's just such a fun character. As a captain, the reason he's so fun is if you have 4 or more Navy characters on the team, it basically makes everything rainbow, which is so fun. Like, so cool. Every attack boost you use for particular classes or colors or tags all become rainbow. His captain ability becomes rainbow, and you can throw the last 2 units on the team, you just throw whatever you want, because you know that those characters are still going to buff the team in some way. Outside of that, though, he can buff Egghead, Logia, and Navy characters by an additional 1.3 times on top of his already 6 times attack boost for Dex, Shooters, and Slashers. He gets 4 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest for everyone as well. He makes Dex and Tandem mobs matching, which is really, really nice. And then as long as you have 3 or more Egghead, Logia, or Navy characters on the team, he reduces Special Bind and Burn by 10 turns, which is disgusting. Like, this is some of the best captain utility ever. Any character that can remove, like, Burn's kind of whatever, but the Special Bind removal, I would have just been happy if it had Special Bind removal, and it didn't have the Burn. The Burn is just like a nice little cherry on top, because, like, Super Burn can be a bit of a bitch, but, especially with rush taps, but, like, the Special Bind removal, like, any character that does Special Bind removal is always super high up on these tier lists. Always. Because that utility, like, with Fear and new player, like, gains is crazy. But as a new player, Kizaru is probably one of the best characters to start with, because if you go into the Recollective Archive and you level up the free-to-play Kuzan, the free-to-play Fujitora, the free-to-play Akainu, you've already got, like, a core team that can basically take you through the entire game and just catch up to an endgame standpoint. Literally, just by running 2 Kizarus, the Kuzan, and the Fujitora. You have everything you need, and then whatever the content needs you to bring, you just fill those last 2 slots in, and you're just good to go. But if you're not doing Navy stuff, like what we saw in the Super Boss, where we were doing trillions of damage versus the quick variation, we were using Kizaru alongside characters like Ace. He has fantastic synergy with characters like Ace, because you can get the overrideable orb boost with his EX, which gives a 2 times orb boost from his 2 times intimidation, just like Shanks does, which is very, very good. And then you override the orb boost with Ace, and then you get the conditional boost as well. You boost color affinity, which is great. You can bring Zoro Sanji. He synergizes really well with Zoro Sanji, because with Kizaru, you need a full team of Slasher or Shooters, or have Navy characters to get the EX. So if you don't have a full team of Shooter and Slashers, it can be a little bit hard to do. But if you bring Zoro Sanji, you just make everyone into Slashers, and then you don't have to worry about it. And that was a really, really good way of getting a lot of damage off in Super Boss as well. He has fantastic synergy with Lulu. He's fantastic synergy with Zoku. You could run him alongside Alba for more utility. You could run him alongside Roger, like bring Roger as a captain and him as a friend captain, and then you get like just so much utility. Roger's also a special mind captain though, which is a bit of a problem. He can use great subs like Hiyori, Mihawk, Verse Shanks, like 10th Anniversary Shanks, Cross Guild. Like I said, the list goes on and on and on what you can do with Kizaru, and he's just a really, really good, strong captain. You kind of want to like buy into bringing Navy characters and not, but Ace has actually got a Navy tag. You've got the Egghead tags here with these particular characters too, so it's not overly hard to do with Kizaru, and I've never really had an issue when it came to that regard. When it comes to doing like big ass damage, that's where he's like kind of falls off. Because like if I wanted to bring Verse Luffy, and then I'd have to bring Zoro and Sanji, which then kind of like held me back a little bit. But otherwise, Kizaru team building has always been just so much fun. He's special. You can only use 2 turns per adventure, but it makes sense because he gives 6 turns of cooldown to the middle row, which is very, very crazy. His EX gives 4 turns to captain as well, so you can just do so much stuff when it comes to special reverse. Basically, say for example, you get hit with 4 turns of special reverse on everyone on stage like 2, moving in stage 3. You just use Kizaru's EX on turn 2, you get the cooldown to your captains, move it to the next stage, use this Kizaru special. All of a sudden, you just remove pretty much 2/3 of the special reverse on your entire team, which is very, very powerful. His special gives a territory depending on the character you have as set as a support. If you have a side character set as support, which is like made for that Pirate Festival Akainu, if you have any side character as a support, you get a Slasher's territory. Any other character, you get a Shooter territory, which means that if you run Friend Captain and a Captain Kizaru with the side support, you're going to get a Slasher and a Shooter territory, which obviously doubles up onto Kizaru, which makes him hit very, very hard. He has a Chain Boundary special as well, so he can give up to a 4 times Chain Boundary starting point. And then if you have 5 or more Egghead, Navy, or Logia type characters on the crew, you get a tap timing bonus for Dex, Shooters, and Slashers, going up to 0.7 if you hit it perfect for 2 turns. Which can also be enhanced 2 times. This is the drawback I have to the character. Trying to find 5 Egghead, Navy, or Logia type characters can be very, very annoying to do. It's not impossible, But when it comes to sort of fine-tuning teams, this is where the character really struggled for me. Getting his special bind and all that other stuff was not an issue at all. But getting this part of his kit to work, that's where I sort of found a lot of the issues. And unfortunately for me, like, that's just not going to be it. Like, I don't want to be too restricted on some of these, like, tags. They just don't have enough support. Egghead's obviously going to get more and more as time goes on. Logia is not terrible. We don't have, like, too many crazy slasher shooter Logia characters. Besides Ace, but, like, he's got that Navy tag anyway, so it doesn't really matter in that regard. And obviously Navy, like, you got, like, a Kainus and whatnot, but, like, yeah, there's not too much else there. Like I said, he's a super special. His EX makes Dex and shooters into super, and then he removes the intimidation, gives the cooldown, and then gives an orb boost, which is overrideable. His support is actually really, really good, going on basically Akainu, Green Bull, Garp, Sengoku, and Fuji. It gives the tap timing bonus for Dex, shooters, and slashers whenever they use the special, which is pretty cool. And then in Rumble, like, he's okay. He gives cooldowns and stuff, but again, he's sort of built up around the Navy sort of tag too there. So, bit of a shame for Kizaru, like, towards the back end, but like I said, as a fun character, man, he's just so ridiculous. He has the Super Tandem boost as well, as long as an Egghead, Logia, or Navy Admiral performs the Super Tandem, you can get it, which, like, honestly isn't a lot. Like, you got Zoku up here, who was very, very good at it. Where do I have Lore Beppo? Lore Beppo, if they're not in S tier sub, I definitely want to bring them up into S tier sub, because they were very, very good. Yeah, they are. They were very, very good in this Super Boss at removing special ship bind. With their special, they get base stats, and their Super Tandem can actually be buffed not only by Kizaru, but it can also be buffed by the Luffy, Zoro, Sanji unit. So, very, very good stocks for Lore and Beppo, doing wonderful, wonderful things. The next character that got a 6+ was the Anniversary exclusive Roronodo Zoro. He was the treasure map booster, and he came out, like I said, as a paywall. Honestly, the character in regular play kind of sucks. I'm not going to take off the other Zoro, because I think the other Zoro is probably better in regular play, because this Zoro becomes driven, which is huge for PvP, but for regular play, sucks asshole, because he lost the free spirit tag. He has a 2-stage special now, which is a bit interesting, because even with like Limit Break expansion, he only goes down to like 10 turns, which kind of sucks. He gives damage reduction and threshold on his second stage, and then he gets defense up on his stage 1. If he could automatically, because at level Limit Break 5, he can give himself 6 turns of cooldown when you use the special, because he cuts your HP by 70%, and then you get the 6 turns of cooldown, this is great at getting around stun and stuff like that. He does fixed damage that's 1.5 million that goes through normal attacks only. He gives tap timing multiplier, which is crazy, and then he also gives chain tap timing buffs by 0.2, and then if you have a Tandem 1 or Recovery or Rainbow Orb on your captain, you get further tap timing bonus as well for slashers and driven characters. So you can do a lot of stuff with the chain, which is really, really cool. But like I said, the issue with the character is just trying to get all of it to work. You do need, obviously, particular orbs on your captains. You do need another way to get more cooldown. He goes down to 10 turns of cooldown. You get 6 with his special, and then he has a thing in his captain ability where if a slasher or driven character uses a special at level Limit Break 5, he gets 2 turns of cooldown, I believe, or maybe it's 1 turn of cooldown. Something silly, which isn't terrible, but it's very, very hard to get when, it's 2 turns, but it only happens, you can only do it 3 times per adventure. So the idea here is to use a Zoro special, use 2 other slashers or driven character specials, and then you can then also use his special once again. And this is cool if you need to get around defense up, damage reduction, and threshold all in the 1 turn with Limit Break expansion. But other than that, like, it's kind of lackluster. He has the same support that goes on slash characters for a 0.5 chain buffs. His super special gives resistance for slashers and driven by 10% and gives more tap timing bonus. And then gives an attack boost to slasher and driven characters at 2.25, which can be overridden. So, like, this is probably, like, the best thing about him, but for me, he goes straight onto that driven slasher PvP team with Cross Guild and Odin and Roger. So that's where I'm seeing the most value of the character. But like I said, if you guys are like massive Zoro dick riders and you love this character so much, you want to make an argument for him in the comment section, like, please, like, go ahead. But talking about really bad Zoros, like this Zoro, honestly, like, I want to put him in bad for now. Like, his buff, like, it's just non-existent. It's so bad. For me, this Zoro was always used as, like, a crazy treasure map unit. And he still is very, very good at that. But, like, he doesn't do anything new that makes him better at what he already did. So, he does have special bind removal in his captain ability, which is kind of cool. And for that reason, I guess, like, you could probably make an argument for me that he's, like, an A-tier captain. Because, look, special bind Do I have him even, like, where do I even have him? Like, have I got him in bad for now still? Like, I don't even know where I have this character. Surely he's not an S tier captain. No. No way. No, okay, he's not in there. A tier captain? I can see myself putting him in A tier captain. Maybe not. No. I think this Zoro also got a level limit break. I have to triple check that. But, damn, where do I have him? Again, whenever I do this tier list, you guys are probably looking at me like, Stump, he's right there. Like, how are you missing the character? How are you not seeing this? S tier Sailor? No way. A tier Sailor. Gotta be A tier Sailor. He's not an A tier Sailor either. Alright, look, we might find him as we sort of, like, go on, but as a captain, like I said, he has 1 turn of cooldown, which is kind of cool. His special gives 2 turns of cooldown, so, like, the synergy there is nice. He's all about taking damage, which has always been a bit of a problem. Then he does end of turn damage. He was really, really good for the Grand Voyage, but, like, at the same time, like, no. His special, like I said, 2 turns of cooldown, does a whole bunch of damage, is all booster slash and driven. For me, like, the best combination you'll ever see is these 2 characters right here in Treasure Map. Like, that's the only real area that I think that you'll see a lot of play. But other than that, like, his level limit break doesn't give him much buffs. His special ability doesn't really change all that much. And again, if you're using him, you're going to be using him in Treasure Map, and that's basically all I have to say about the character. He's just bad. Like, he's just bad. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, they've been popping off with Super Evolutions lately, and, like, this guy didn't even get, like, good Rumble buffs. Like, it's wild to me to see, like, that he just, again, got no good buffs in Rumble when he was potentially one of the best Rumble characters for the bench when he first came out. And now, like, he does damage, but, like, he doesn't bypass defense. He doesn't do anything crazy like that. Character that does bypass defense that I do want to bring up is Garp. Garp's a PvP god. With the Psy team resurgence, like, he's definitely become such a driving force on that what's it called team. Oh, there he is there. I've got him in support. I'll keep him there in support because that's pretty much all you use the character for. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's pretty much all you use him for. Moving on to part 2 of Celebration, I'm going to try and speed it up because, like, this video has been going on for a little while. But as you guys know, I do like to ramble when it comes to treasure maps, so hopefully you guys got, not treasure maps, tier lists. So hopefully you guys got yourself some popcorn and you're enjoying the fun. I'm gonna start off with Bonnie because, like, Saturn's been such a talking point for the community, and a lot of people have been like, "What the hell is going on with this character?" But for myself, like, I'm a big fan of Saturn. I think he's a very, very good unit. And Bonnie, she's the unit that came alongside him. Slasher, Striker, Psy character. Her captain ability is kind of lackluster, gives cooldowns, based around Egghead characters, buffing Slashers and Strikers. Remember, she is just a regular legend. She does give burn removal, and if you have 5 or more Egghead, Worst Generation, or Paramecias on the team, she gives you 2 turns of Special Reverse as a captain. So, as a captain, like, you're probably not going to see all that much play for her. I think, like, most of the time you'll see her as, like, a sailor, as she kind of is built to sort of go alongside Nami and Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. She gives threshold removal at 7 turns. She gives increases orb effects, and increases the orb effect of beneficial from tandem recovery, Psy, and Semler slots by 3 times for 3 turns. So again, very good if you put her alongside Nami and Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. If you have 4 or more Egghead, Worst Generation, or Paramecia types, she increases the Chain Addition buff by 1.0, then adds 1.6, which can be enhanced by 2 times, to the Chain Multiplier for 3 turns, and then adds 1.4 that can be enhanced 2 times, if you do not have the Egghead character. So what I believe, I haven't tested her out in actual play. I did manage to pull her. I did a few more multis, but I did actually get her. We'll definitely do some testing around, like, 1 PM when, like, PK and Assault Rumble stuff comes out. But she increases the attack buff by up to 1.25 that goes all the way up to 10 times. So this is pretty big, seeing she's a strike character. She can be used alongside Saturn. But I think the chain shenanigans is what's really going to sort of drive her in terms of being the most used. She does have a super special. I don't believe she can use it as a sailor, which again is a bit of a problem. She gives affinity by 2.5 times for 3 turns, which doesn't really matter too much. Changes block into tandem, which is exactly what the Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji unit is doing anyway. So you're not really going to sort of lose too much there. She has a support that goes on Kuma, removing threshold by 3 turns, which is really, really strong. And in PvP, she buffs Strikers. So she does seem like a very interesting unit that could work alongside Saturn. I am trying to do some testing with the units, but at the moment, like, Strikers are kind of very lackluster, man. Like, they're struggling a lot. She has a 100% chance to halve attack 2 high attack enemies, halve defense for 2 high defense enemies, and target 2 high speed enemies for halving speed. When 6 or more strikers are on the team, targets 2 enemies with high CT for a 20% delay, and then targets 1 world government enemy for 3 times damage. This can work against characters like Lucci and stuff like that. It doesn't have to go against Satin. But honestly, like, overall, like, she's just kind of lackluster. She does seem great if you sort of want to partner up with the crazy sort of Psy team and get some, like, nice little shenanigans going there with Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. But for now, look, I think she's just an SC Sailor. I'm not even going to bring her up into meta or anything like that, because I just think there's other characters that kind of do what she does, and you can just get away with just skipping out on Bonnie. Again, if you want her as, like, point booster for Assault Rumble and PK and stuff, because obviously the big man, Satin, is the next talking point, I do understand summoning for her, and her banner's obviously very, very good, being an Anniversary and Super Sugo banner as well. But the character herself is pretty much what you're not going for. Unless you're like myself and you're sort of endgame and you kind of really want to rank. As for Satin, Satin is a really big talking point, and I don't want to hear anyone bitch in the comment section for this. You can't just deny that Satin is a god tier character. Like, I'm sorry, you can't sit there and say they butched this unit, or this unit's a bust, when we're about to read what this character does. He is phenomenal, and he's only going to get better with time. And I agree with every complaint everyone has had about the unit, but that doesn't change the fact that the guy is a fucking demon. Like, in the game and in the fucking series. Like, it's wild. He gives cooldowns to 5 Elders and Celestial Dragons, 15 turns at the start of the fight, and this is needed because he has 30, he's on a 30 turn cooldown. So, like, you definitely need him as a captain if you're going to use him. He's not viable as a sub, but that's okay. I don't give a shit because, I'm only running this guy as a captain. He buffs Int, Driven, and Strikers. 3 classes and colors that definitely needed the help. Int with Spain has been struggling for a while. Int, Gear 5 Luffy's been carrying them. Strikers and Driven have not had, like, any love since, Big Mom, Katakuri, and Kaido and King, and they didn't save them at all. Like, they didn't, like, help out in the slightest. Like, versus Kaido, yeah, he's great, but Driven have had no support since those other big celebration, which is almost a year ago now, so just be mindful of that. He makes Int recovery always beneficial for all the crew. He's a 6 times captain, can go up to a, if you have he gets a HP of 1.6 times, but if you have, Celestial Dragons, Navy, or 5 Elders, they can go up to a 7.8 times attack boost, just like the rest of the characters. And then if you have an attack boost, you can increase the attack boost by another attack boost that you use. I know I worded that pretty badly, but basically what that means is that if you have 4 or more 5 Elders, Celestial Dragons, and Navy characters on the crew, and you already have an attack buff, like his attack buff, you can then stack another attack boost on top. So say, for example, I use the attack boost of Luffy, who's a 4 times attack boost to Int and Powerhouse units, and then I go, hey, I'm going to use the Roger attack boost, which is 2.75. My attack boost becomes 6.75 now, which is absolutely wild. The fact that you can just stack these two on top of each other is just ridiculous if you have Garcia as a captain. Now, obviously, that's just an example, but I sort of just wanted to try and explain that the best that I can. Yeah, very, very strong. Just very, very strong. He doesn't have any utility as captain, which obviously is a big problem with this particular unit, but at the same time, I don't think it holds him back. Definitely not as much as what this character's being held back by. But, like, yeah, he's just... I don't know what to say. He's an absolute demon. On top of that, if you have a 10 times attack boost, which is very, very hard to do unless you're running 2 Satins and a lot of cost, you then have super effective against all types. So you have the potential to make this guy give your team a 10 times attack boost with a 7.8 times captain and be super effective against all types. Like, the damage numbers that we're going to see from Saint Garcia Satin is just absolutely wild. On top of that, once we get more of these elder characters, which are coming, by the way. If you're anime only watchers, I don't want to spoil anything. If you're a manga reader, you know these characters are coming. So just be mindful of that as well. Yeah, just disgusting stuff. As a special, he gives 20% HP cut. He completely removes damage reduction and completely removes poison, which is crazy. Gives a territory for driven characters at up to 1.5 times damage for 3 turns. And then boosts the attack of driven and strike characters by 4 times up to 5 times, depending on the cost of your crew. And this goes up at a rate of anywhere up to 499 cost, you get a 4 times attack boost, maxing at 750 or more cost for a 5 times. Now, this is not only for your crew, it also goes on support. So, if you use a 6+ as a support, you're getting a 65 cost, on top of Satin, who's a 99 cost, so that's already 164. And then you build the rest of your team out with Legends, you're automatically getting 55 to 65 cost. So, getting, like, around the 700 cost mark, maybe say 6 to 6.99, it's very doable. Very, very doable. Seeing the 4.25 attack boost, or even the 4.5 times attack boost, maybe even the 4.75, is probably what you're going to see with this guy if you're more of an endgame player. If you are fine-tuning the team, you can then obviously try and get the 5 times. But again, this is going to get easier and easier and easier as we get more of these Elder Stars get put into the game. And I understand, like, you don't want to summon for a character that's just going to age really, really well. I'll just pick him up when those other characters turn up, because we can kind of assume that they're going to be Super Sugos as well. But what if they're not? What if they're just like an end-of-month badge, and all of a sudden you don't have good old Garcia, and you're waiting until the One Piece Day celebration for him to come back, and you end up, I don't know, picking up on a ticket the other elders that need Garcia to work, and you have like a particular boss, like maybe a super boss, where this guy is just going to be an absolute demon in, and you're just struggling there. So I think grabbing at least one copy now is just definitely the wave, and then sort of just, again, letting the dupes come to you once the support comes down the line. He also can increase orb effect boost up to 1.5 times, maxing it at 10 times orb boost depending on your action special, and he has to be a captain or a friend captain to do that. So again, he's based up around a lot of damage. If you have 4 or more elders, celestial dragons, or navy characters, you can overheal as well, which is really good because he's EX. If you can give yourself the overheal buff, you just automatically get his EX, which, like, yeah, it sucks because you don't, like, get any overheal because he's not healing. But at the same time, it just triggers his EX, which is awesome. He goes down to 30 turns on Limit Break Expansion, which, again, you need the 15 turns in that for him to work. And then the character must be captain. If the crew has HP overheal buff or has an attack buff for 8 times or more, you get the EX, which, again, you just use the special of him with the Navy characters, and you will get the EX. If you're not running the Elders or the Navy characters, which you pretty much want to, because you want the 10 times attack, right? He gets attack down removal of 10 turns, driven character to 50% resistance debuff, and int and driven turn into super characters. PvP, he busts strikers, which has been interesting. I haven't found him to be too great in PvP, but hey, that's just me. And then he does have a rush tap as well, being the first or the 6th tap, just like the 10th anniversary characters. But you must have 3 driven characters on the team to perform this. Now, this is easy to do because I feel like you're going to want to run driven characters when it comes to his teams, but you can obviously throw in characters, you can throw strikers in to make him work as well. So he's a very, very good unit. Definitely not on the caliber of I don't even think he's on the caliber of Kizaru just yet, but his potential definitely has the room to sort of overtake what Kizaru is doing. But at the same time, like, I think a lot of people are just bitching about the problems of Saturn and not really looking at the amazing things that he can do and the potential he has down the line. Remember, he's a villain character as well. Like, villains are always given treatment that struggles. Like, look at Blackbeard. Like, Blackbeard on release versus Kaido, like, Big One character. Like, and all these characters, they're still holding their own up here. They're just not top 10 characters. And obviously, they're going to make the heroes look amazing. They're going to give all these, like, crazy characters everyone loves a lot better buffs because they're just more popular characters. Everyone was so excited for Saturn's release. Don't get me wrong. And yeah, sure, they could have made him better. I definitely agree. But at the same time, he's still a fantastic character with ridiculous abilities. And if you pick him up for your account, it's going to help you out. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, put a like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you agree or disagree, like I said, let me know down there. I love talking about this stuff. So, like I said, slap a comment down, even if it, like I said, if you disagree. But just keep it fun, keep it friendly, and speak your mind. But most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please enjoy the rest of your day. But like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification too, because 11th anniversary, we're pumping so much content. So hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of the fun. But thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.